Huh.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. I love the fact that you can just create a studio in the middle of anywhere. If you're creative enough, clever enough, if you have a table or a chair,
Well, it's not in the middle of nowhere.
it's in the middle of the living room floor. If people saw the setup, it's just creative. It's amazing. That's manifesting at its finest right there.
That's creating.
That is creating. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is currently 11:23 Florida time.
It's late. We're tired. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what did we just celebrate?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And tomorrow we're leaving to Norway.
Ooh.
We're leaving to Norway to go film 2 projects. Yeah.
It's crazy because this is the beginning of your
journey of just my journey, my career, my what I want to teach, what I want to do, what I want to mix production with ice bathing, with wellness, with thrive, with travel, with just a combination of so many things. And it's Brian's ending for his season of something he's been working for a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your beginning and my end, and I could not be any more proud and elated. Like, just so excited for you. You are finally jumping into the dark abyss of the unknown, and you're going completely all in on like starting this endeavor and just following your passion. And it's wild. It's crazy. And I get to be a part of her beginning, and she gets to be a part of like my end. Like she said, I have been filming an 8-part docuseries that has taken me all over the world. And yeah, I've been to 10 different countries now this year. And now Norway will
10
be
already.
10.
10. Wow, okay, so
we had Nepal, Poland, Africa, and then from Africa, well, even before Africa, I did Jamaica, Grand Cayman Islands, through the cruise we did, and that was the Dreamers Cruise, where we got to meet and connect. So we did Grand Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and then from there we did Bonaire, and then Mexico, and then from Mexico, now, well, then Cancun, but that doesn't really count. But now back here, so that's, yeah, Poland, Nepal, Poland, Africa, Jamaica, Grand Cayman Islands,
Mexico,
Bonaire, and then Norway. Well, and then I was counting Norway, Scotland, and Ireland, which will be 10.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So I had 10.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think there were that many in my mind.
Man. And you can throw in the Czech too, but we did that for like a day. The Czech Republic.
Yeah, but yeah, you can count it.
Yeah, something. But either which way, yes. So by the end of the year, we'll be wrapping up with 10 different countries. But Norway will be the big finish for the Viking episode and finding peace for the docuseries. So it's, oh yeah.
Yeah. My start this year was going to Poland and doing Wim Hof. And it's just something that I had been wanting to do for a really long time, and that since I discovered ice baths, and it changed my life, and just became such a big teacher, and I just never thought of it as much more than just something that helped me, and that I could tell people, that might help them. And since I discovered ice baths, I wanted to meet Wim Hof and go into but I didn't know he did expeditions back then. He probably didn't. I don't know. Well, no, he did.
They were tiny.
They're small.
They weren't on the grand scale there now.
Yeah.
He's ramped it up times.
And then I remember, and I've told you this, that I watched that around that same time. I watched my teacher the octopus, which is a documentary also about swimming in freezing waters, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to go and swim in freezing waters and document it, and I want to go to Windhoek. And then my beginning was 3 years later, actually, from when I started. I went through a whole different period of anxiety later, and the ice baths weren't doing much to me anymore, and I figured now it was time to go do the doing the freezing mountain in your shorts and actually meeting the man itself. And I was like, Wim Hof was a person that didn't stay in doing ice baths. He actually went and ran the mountain in his shorts and barefoot, so that maybe that's my next step, right? And so anyways, that's where it started. I went to Wim Hof. I realized that is my passion, helping other people, and also in putting in production and filming, and so now it's the second step, I guess, towards it. Maybe later the certification, we'll see, but
you're taking your first step. It's coming to life.
It's coming to life, yeah.
Yeah, the next mountain is going to be pretty wild. Norway in the middle of December, climbing Trolltunga Mountain, hopefully with a group of Vikings. I am filming and shooting living a Viking traditional lifestyle, trying to be able to get away from all modern things, phones, and just modern life, and trying to be able to get back to the traditions, the simple skill sets, the basics, how to live off grid, how to live in the most modest ways possible. And a part of that, we're going to try capturing everything we can with Vikings and the culture and the heritage, and hopefully being able to take some Vikings up a mountain with us in our shorts. Maybe they're crazy enough with us. they'll be crazy enough with us, because it'll be, I don't even know how cold it is. It was 20 degrees last time I checked the weather report.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be cold and dark. Supposedly they're the darkest months of the year. It's
we're going from sunny 60s and 70s Florida to 20s. But I'm from Wisconsin, so I already have a little Wisconsin fluff and a little Wisconsin prep behind me, so I should be okay. But I'm curious to see how if your full Wim Hof experience will will prevail.
It'll be more intense this time, for sure.
Yeah.
Because Wim Hof, it was awesome, but it was also pampering. To a certain point. The hotel was like
it was luxury. It huge. You got to go from the ice baths to 110 degree sauna and sit in some of the most luxurious. Yeah, it was huge. It was crazy.
A huge event. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh man, everything you learned.
Yeah. I keep thinking about it. I dream about it.
That was her. Yeah, that was her great escape, and that was a big push also into why she's going all in on doing this as well.
Yeah.
And being able to take on these adventures and endeavors. But you really want to, you have so many different things that you want to talk about and bring to your audience that you were sharing with me, that I'm really excited to kind of be able to, that we're both learning as we jump into these adventures together. Manifestation. You talk a lot about with your anxiety stuff and with just so many different things that you're getting into that that you're going to bring to light and be able to share as well, on top of the ice baths and
there's so many ideas and so many passions that go into this, because first of all, just Viking heritage and culture, and it's been something that's just so, it just puts me in awe. The whole, I feel like I was Viking at some point. I feel like I
both have that Viking blood.
Viking blood. And I've always wanted to see the Aurora Borealis, the Nordic Lights. And at the same time, it's just gonna be a mixture between cold exposure and wellness and filming and creating something in this whole bringing art into it, you know, because I am a big art fan, and I've done so much this year to it's so crazy because I've been doing so much to try to figure out why I go through what I go through sometimes, and I've done ayahuasca. You know, I've done plant medicine, like if you like any plant, well, not any plant medicine, but many plant medicines that you can think of. And as much as all of that was wonderful, I feel like at the end of the day, it keeps being the ice baths and the cold, and that really
Natural.
then really helps, you know. I mean, I'm not discrediting anything else because they are powerful medicines, but I know this is my medicine. Like it's been since 3 years ago, and
yeah, ice baths and then the breath work.
yeah,
Just you and I, just doing our breathing. Even getting to do it tonight. It was so randomly crazy. Just where you never know where you get to be able to teach a lesson or like share a moment or be able to just like talk about like breathing, the techniques and just how much it can help in any moment or situation. And yeah.
yeah, and you know, and that was like almost like a clarification of like tonight for me because I've been doing workshops the past few months and I'm like really struggling through it a little bit because I feel like most people do it because it's the trend or you know just they heard that you know it's good for you and they just want to try it out but they don't really follow what you're saying that like they're not doing it for the reasons I did it per se when I was doing it and so I've been giving these ice bath workshops, and there's something about it that hasn't been completely fulfilling about it, right? And I think it's that it's like people like hear about it, they know it's trendy, they know it's good for you.
I want to be a hoffer.
Eh?
I want to be a hoffer.
But it's like, but you like at the end of the day, you don't feel like they take that much with them. You know, like I did when I started, and today I got to be with somebody that reminds me of me, you know, and tell her all about it. And it seemed to like they've been looking for answers for so long and they can't find it.
It was pretty cool to see the receptiveness and just see how I said I was so admirable. Like I admire so much because yeah, just the dynamics and how much the energy shifted and everything changed in a moment. Just the way you talked and then the way you introduced the breathing and she's good. You're gonna sign up with anybody or do any workshops. Thanksgiving on all moments or all days to be able to watch you live and in action, and it was just transfixing, and it was really I mean, you know when somebody's in their calling, and you know when somebody is truly doing something that they love and are passionate about, and watching you help the way you did, it was just like wow. There's no doubt that you're,
Yeah, and that's what I realized. It's just like I've been wanting to do something so purposeful and you know you try to find the audience and then you realize that the audience is you 3 years ago or a year ago. You know, that's the audience. You know, like you're trying to help people that are going through what you went through and yeah.
You've really, I mean, throughout this process and throughout this journey, you talk a lot about manifestation as well.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I've studied manifestation for about a little bit more than a year now. I went and I took courses on it, and I still didn't understand it very well. And the reason why I didn't understand it is because I am a person that is very logical, and I tend to not really follow my heart a lot of times. I tend to like get stuck in what my brain is telling me, and it's funny because I have done courses, I've studied it, and it wasn't until Wim Hof that it's like when I went to Wim Hof that I was like, oh, I'm starting to get it. You know, I'm starting to get it. Like it's like as soon as you do that, like step into what your heart is taking you to, like everything else that you might have been wanting, like just kind of falls into place, and it can all just fall into place like at once, and you don't even know what to do with it. You know. And yeah, the issue there was like how to hold it, because like for me it was like 5 days of like, oh my god, this is heaven, and then it's gone, and then you're like, oh my god, it's gone, like how do I hold it back, how do I keep,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then through all this journey of Brian, just watching Brian, like I was like, dude, this dude is a manifester. Like I've literally just watched him through his journey, like manifesting things along the way. And I got to really like understand it more and more and more just by watching him.
It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, and it's really cool to be able to share those moments and to be able to share how much surrender and faith and how much blind that you have to dive into what you believe in order for things to truly come to fruition. And I mean, first of all, if I tell you that I have never done any filming, never done any of this stuff ever prior to, but now I'm creating a docu-series, I'm traveling the world, and I've been able to partner with some incredibly amazing people, living in a monastery, climbing Kilimanjaro, doing safaris, doing dives, all these things. And I put all this together in 3 months. And within 3 months, I had a whole script, had the series, had all the destinations put together. And from that point forward, everything has continued, like kept falling into place in the most randomly crazy ways ever. And yeah, and you got to be there, a part of a lot of it, and see like some of these things. And it's
not physically there, but
well, the stories and everything else. And some of it you've been a part of as well. Like,
yeah. Well, most of it I've just heard from, or like I would be talking to you on the phone, and it just like
things would just happen.
And so so I realized, I was like, oh, okay, so I kept.
When we started getting the emails for like all the things coming through, all the money coming through, whatever it was, things would just kind of show up.
Yeah. And like this is like one of the most interesting things, that it's like, and you even told me about it. It's like every time I go into a trip, and I overspend money, for my trip. But I needed to spend it, and I spent it. I don't know how am I gonna make it again. And in that moment, you get an order from your other company that's almost matches the same amount that you just spent, right?
Yeah, you've seen that several times.
Yeah, so that just kind of like tells you that when you do something, you're not worried about how the money is gonna come, and it will you're just trusting that it will. It just does, because you're taking the leap, and you like. And I've studied about manifestation, and especially when it comes to like wealth. They talk about how you have to have you have to know what you're gonna put it into for it to show up.
Yeah.
Because money is energy, and if you're just gonna like keep it in the bank, it's not creating more of anything, not creating more of an experience, not creating any more money. So then it just doesn't come to you, because that energy wants to keep like creating more energy, whatever it is. If it's a vacation, if it's like a house. So as soon as you like put the intention to what you're putting it, like it just shows up. Right?
It's been really weird. That part has been, and honestly and full-heartedly, like this isn't a like you can manifest all the money in the world. Like you can go be a millionaire overnight because it's not like that at all. And we're not trying to be like, but when you full-heartedly follow your passion, when you put passion before profits, and you put people and purpose before profits, you really do start seeing things, the universe giving back. And when it's the exact expression, like when you give something fully and completely, the universe finds a way to be able to regenerate, to bring that back tenfold. And it's to see little things happening consecutively all the way throughout is just it's it just not only reassures you that you're on the right path, but like you just know that it's not all about the money, and money will be there when it needs to be, or things will come in the way they're meant to. And when you're creating things that are putting out more value and helping for that sole purpose, things will generate and come back. Like you said, it's all energy. It's all
It is.
it's all just there. And so when you put your intentions to it, just yeah.
Yeah. So during this trip, we're also gonna focus in manifestation and because
Manifestation.
yes, and because I have taken courses